Hello, everyone. Welcome to 4-H Interviews with Pros. Tonight, we are so excited to have Sarah Pace, a member from 4-H Box Elder County, here to interview Anna Laurin, a retail marketing communications manager at Dairy Farmers of America. Thank you both so much for being here. And for everyone who is watching this video, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments and we'll be sure to answer them as soon as we can. Sarah, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you.
Okay, so Anna, will you tell us a little bit about what you do as a retail marketing communications manager? Like, what does a typical day at your job look like for you?
Yeah, so as the retail marketing manager, I am overseeing what the brand is doing on site as well as digitally. So really my responsibility is to make sure that we're telling the brand story, which is that our local cheese store, the creamery, is owned by dairy farmers, and that message resonates through everything that we do, through how we treat our customers as they come through the door, through the products that we've got on the shelves, to the experience customers are having when they shop online. They're able to see that our members, our farmer owners, are their story is there in everything that we do. And a little bit from day to day, I mean, in marketing, it can be, every day is different. So like today, we had some IT issues. So I was working with different groups and collaborating to make sure that our team is still able to serve the customers, that our website is still running the proper information just to put out there for our for those who are interested in learning about dairy farmers, making sure that we're talking about our members properly and such. And then also on a flip note, we have a local parade coming up. So how do we tell that member story in the float that we're providing, and how our employees interact with the guests that they see on the streets? So it's been kind of an interesting week just because it's been so heavily involved in the digital side, but as well as the physical side of how does that story really come through in everything that I do. So, and days can involve social media. I get to see comments and I get to interact with customers online, as well as designing labels or making sure packaging has the right stuff on it. So it's a little bit of everything, but the best part is it's always about the brand story.
Mm-hmm. So what does an average day look like for you when you're working remotely?
Yeah, so currently I am on site, but I have worked remotely with this job. The pandemic really showed the determination and workability of employees being able to work from home, what we can produce and what we can show up and do via the internet, which is an amazing tool. So if I'm working from home, it's a lot of online digital projects. I can still do label designs. I can still do my social media management. I can still design email assets, respond to customer questions, order questions, that sort of thing. And then again, with the tools that we have for the online space, there is still that collaborative ability. So we use Microsoft Teams or Zoom like we're using now to really make sure that everybody is on the same page. We're having those open conversations of where do we need to go next, even if everybody's in different locations, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So what makes you excited about going to your job?
You guys are all, this is a 4-H page, so you guys know very well. Farmers are passionate. They are dedicated. Their livelihood is on the farm. They are not going to bed thinking, oh, I'm done. I'm done with my job. They're not thinking that. So what makes me excited is to be able, how can I cultivate an environment that reflects the passion of dairy farmers. Dairy farmers are hardworking. They're up before the sun has risen and they're going to bed after it's set. So how can I cultivate an environment through branding, through customer relationships, through the products that we sell, and tell that story that we, even as we're not on the farm, we're in a store or we're online, we still have that same passion for producing a high quality product that we want you to enjoy with your family. Because just like you, dairy farmers, they're all about their families. They are the farm first, family second, maybe the other way around, but they're very passionate about both.
Mm-hmm. So did you choose your career because you could work remotely?
So the one thing I do love about marketing and the digital assets is that there is the flexibility of both. I used to work in Kansas City and do this job from there, which has been, I mean, it was definitely a challenge, but it was exciting to feel how I could do that. And now that I'm here, I've had weeks or days that I can't go into the office, so I am able to still do it from home. So I think my what I like about the ability to work remotely, especially in my job, is because everything is digital, everything is online. So you're going to still be able to provide the same quality of no matter where you're working from.
So thinking back to like when you were my age, did you ever notice any interests that you had that like pushed you towards becoming this?
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I was very, and in college as well, I was very into arts. I loved painting. I loved all that stuff. And then I took a step into graphic design. And honestly, I wanted to be a graphic designer. I started college thinking, okay, I'm going to become a graphic designer. And luckily, other things worked out. I found a job where I was able to take my skills as a public affairs or as a graphic designer and combined it with storytelling. And I worked in public affairs for a while, and I really love that just because not only is it the digital asset, but it's that storytelling piece of how does a brand look? How does the story look? How do you convey a message to really thinking about how your audience reads that. And I honestly never would have charted my path this way, but because of those combined interests, I got to where I am, and I really enjoy it.
So what type of education and training prepared you to become the retail marketing communications manager?
So I ended up changing my school degree to mass communications and journalism. I took art classes on the side as well. And then I specifically looked for jobs that had to do with, I started out with some branding, but marketing and communications. There's a lot of roles out there where companies just need somebody who can type an email, can update a website, can post something on a website, can help tell their story in a simple way. I think my first professional role outside of college was a media director for a local golf course, like not anything to do with farming, but that same, how do we tell that message to our members? How do we tell what our golf course is doing? How do you get involved with this community? So yeah, so the training piece, I think, especially in the marketing and communications world, there's a lot of good in having those resources and educational background, but there's a lot of greatness and getting out there and experiencing, being that go-getter who wants to be like, okay, I need to learn more, or I want to figure out how to do this, or I want to rely and ask questions about how can I make this better.
So what is the average pay for a person who works as a retail marketing communications manager?
Yeah, so I think in that role, it really just depends on where you're at. I've been with DFA for 5 years now, but I know my first job in this communication area was 35 to 40,000. But as you work your way up, I mean, you can look at jobs anywhere from 75 to 85,000 now. And then as you work your way up, I mean, you'll get into the 100,000 and so forth.
What types of skills are necessary for succeeding in your career?
Again, that ability to actively be responsible for the tasks that are given to you, seek out new opportunities of how do we continue to grow as a brand? How do we continue to grow to tell the story? And yes, one day you might be simply working on emails, but the next day you're thinking about, oh, can we work with influencers, or can we how can we spice up the day at the parade? Like, what else can we do in the community that really tells that story, especially to our locals? And then also, I think the biggest key or the biggest takeaway I've learned in every single job is the ability to collaborate. Your idea is not always the best idea. There's usually a team around you, and the best way to get to the idea that works for everybody is that open collaboration, that open discussion of, hey, what do you think? Oh, this might work better. Oh, no, my idea is not going to work. Like, let's scrap that. Let's go with your idea. Like, just the ability to get out there and collaborate and have open discussions about what's best for the goals that we're trying to reach.
What are some of the biggest challenges you face in this field?
Um, Personally, no. I think when it comes to the growth of social media over the past 10 years, social media has grown so exponentially. There isn't necessarily, when you go to college, there's not a degree like, hey, this is what social media is. I'm going to apply for this degree because it's going to give me all the answers. Social media is changing almost every single day. Everybody's putting out new algorithms. There's new reports coming out. There's new trends coming out. So being able to stay on top of that curve isn't something that you're going to learn in the books, but it is the growth that you're going to get of, hey, I need to go out there and make sure I'm researching what I need to be doing. I've learned in school that I need to research this campaign or this audience. I'm going to take those same things that I learn and apply it to the real world. I'm going to go out there and learn from other collaborators or learn from other businesses. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? So there's not necessarily, I think the most difficult thing is there's not necessarily a rule book to play by, but there is a direction and a path and skills you can learn to make sure you're going in the right direction.
What's the most valuable reward you've gotten in this career?
To bring it back, I've worked for Dairy Farms America for 5 years. I worked at headquarters for 2 of it, and now I've been out here for 3 in Utah for 3 of it. And no matter where I go, I've been on member farms. I've been on meetings with farmer owners. The biggest reward is being able to talk to them and see, hey, they might have a bad day on the farm, but what they see online is us positively talking about, hey, they are putting out a safe, high quality product that is nutritious for your family. And that tastes really good, because who doesn't love ice cream? Being able to have those conversations with them, like, we are doing our darnest to make sure that your product is selling and moving off the shelves, and families understand when they pick up a piece of cheese, a milk off the shelf, that this is coming from a family who has worked their tails off to get it to the shelf and is supported by a supply chain that supports their passions and works towards the same goals. So I honestly, I always joke that I lived in small town Kansas and moved to the big city to do social media, and I'm working for farmers again. Like, the irony of it is there, but honestly, I wouldn't change a thing, because farmers are so passionate and so dedicated. Why wouldn't I want to be a part of this community? They inspire me to want to do better.
Do you see remote work as an essential part of future careers in this field?
Yes, I think the pandemic has really shown, again, employers, employees, that no matter where you are, there's a dedication and a workforce that wants to put the work in there and do what they can to do their part. And especially in the communications field, a lot of it is digital. So I always joke, if I don't have Wi-Fi at work, I'm going to use my Wi-Fi at home and get my job done. So I think there is, yes, an essential part of being part of communications or the brand story is remote work. I can, in the past, I've gone to farms and done stuff from the farms. I'm posting videos or I'm writing content. So the ability to be flexible, to help tell that story or to help represent farmers is very essential.
What can young people like me do to prepare to work remotely in this field in the future?
Yeah. So again, I think it's all about collaboration. So when you're at home, it's a lot different than working in the office, right? You're in that environment of people around you. Even if you go to the water cooler or to the cafeteria or out to lunch, you're going to hear bits and pieces about what's happening in your company. Oh, they're promoting this new product over here. Well, I didn't know that. Or they're doing this meeting with the team over here. I think when you work at home, you miss out on a lot of that, but that doesn't mean that should stop you. I think being prepared to work remotely, you need to be actively communicating and asking questions and being, hey, what do I need to be knowing that's going on? It's your responsibility as an employee to ask those questions and not rely on others to feed those to you. Because I mean, we all know you get stuck. I mean, you get into an email or you get into a project and your blinders are on. So being able to openly communicate and ask those questions, and not being afraid to ask questions. Like every once in a while you might get a, hey, that's not need to know, and that shouldn't stop you. Just keep asking those questions. So your boss or your coworkers will let you know, hey, this is where you need to be, this is where you don't need to be, but it still shows that you're passionately interested in what the business is doing, and you want to be a part of that, which I think employers really value.
And then that's the end of the questions. So I'm going to turn time back over to Kelsey.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Anna, for such interesting and helpful information. It's really fun to see how excited you are about your job. And that was really great information for all of us. For everyone who's watching, I just want to let you know that we have a few programs at Utah State University in our College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences that are related directly to what we learned tonight. So if you want to know more about CAS marketing specifically, we have linked a link in the description of this video. And we'll also have the link to the Remote Online Initiative program if you want to learn more about what you can do remotely to get prepared for the future. And then lastly, we have a really short 1 to 2 minute survey. If you've watched this video, if you complete the survey, then you can be entered for a chance to win a really cool Cotopaxi backpack. So be sure to check that out. And thank you again so much to both Sarah and Anna for being here tonight. And we'll talk to you all later. Thanks. Bye-bye.